Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Patrick, and today I'm going to be riding Big Yellow, my 2010 Honda Goldwing. But I'm waiting on my son at the moment. He just came back from the DMV and he got his license. So he's fully legal, he doesn't have to deal with it anymore, and we'll talk about it with him once we start riding a little bit. Now he's just showing off because he saw the camera. All right, folks, well, we're back. Mitchell is behind me on his 1985 Honda. And we are gonna go get some fuel, then we're gonna go take a ride, and maybe I'll even take a ride on the old sport bike. But before we do that, I wanted to talk to Mitchell a little bit about what happened at the DMV today.
Well, I wasn't waiting there for 2.5 hours for no reason, basically, so that's a plus.
Yes.
But I went and got my motorcycle endorsement,
Nice.
and I'm good, fully legal now.
Nice.
It was probably the easiest thing I have ever done.
Oh, really? And what do you mean by that?
The things that I had to do were not half as much as what we had been practicing.
You mean the skills course stuff?
You what?
I know you couldn't hear me with your bike revving up the way it was. You're talking about the skills course stuff?
Yep.
So the skills course that they had you go through to get your license was easier than what you and I have been practicing?
Yes.
Ah! Well, that...
There was only like 2 or 3 things that, actually I think only like 2 where we had been practicing, but it was different. Obviously the slaloms.
Okay.
Which, when we had been practicing it, we had been putting the cones like a bike length apart.
Right, we kept them pretty tight.
Yes. And I'll just say that the cones that they had set up were very far apart, and it was cake.
Really?
I mean, I was barely leaning the bike to go around them.
So you had to zigzag through the cones, but they were so far apart that it was super easy.
Yeah.
Okay. And what else did they have you do?
They had me stall the bike out and start it right back up, which, I mean, was really easy. And then stop and go at a couple of the cones, and then go through my gears.
Wow.
Or make sure I know, down one, up for the rest.
Okay.
So, yeah, and that was pretty much it.
Wow. And so the other day, all right, I'm going. The other day, you waited forever and ended up only being able to do the written exam.
Yep.
Which you said the written exam really wasn't that big of a deal. All right, folks. Well, here we are on 209. Mitchell asked what time it was. Realized we had plenty of time. And he said he wanted to take his Honda Rocket, his Honda V4 on 209. Little gravel right in the center lane.
Yep.
And so we're gonna take a run across 209 with the 2 bikes. At some point, I will get on his bike, take it for a ride. Probably do a little bit of off the bikes filming, and I may even set up another camera on this bike to watch Mitchell as he goes through this road. He says right now he's okay with being behind me because he wants to kind of keep a slow pace. I just wonder how long that'll last. All right, Mitchell, where are we?
209.
Again. But this is the first time you've taken that bike on 209.
Yes.
And we unfortunately got behind the school bus, so we didn't get to go through some of the Twistys at a decent clip. But
Not yet.
But what do you think so far?
So far it's fun. It wants to lean, and I just got to get comfortable leaning this one.
Oh,
It's got way more of a lean angle than the Yamaha does.
Okay. And so once you get used to riding a sport bike, it's going to feel like a sport bike.
Yep, once I can get it running a little bit better too.
Yep. All right. We'll be back. All right, folks. Well, we're on 209 and we're behind a van here. We had stopped because we got behind a school bus. But Mitchell's having some fun in the Twistys, getting used to his new to him bike. Somewhat new to you?
Yeah, somewhat new to me.
But the first time that it's actually been running really well in a while. Since you've had it, really.
Yeah.
And so, just trying to gravel in the middle.
Yep.
Trying to get his sea legs, as it were, on that bike. Trying to get used to some of the twisty,
It's definitely different.
goats. Lots and lots of goats. Don't think they should be out here.
No.
I did some goat wrangling one time on a motorcycle.
If they came from that place off to our left, I mean, they just go right underneath that fence.
Yeah, I don't know where all these would have come from. You want to pick a couple up and bring them home?
I'm sure they would love to yell at us while we're going down the road.
What a bummer. Guys, where do you belong?
Yeah. Yep, follow the leader. Go back up.
They all have, every single one of them had a collar.
Except for
Oh, there's a little one. Wow. All right, so we've had some goat fun. But anyway, Mitchell's getting a feel for a curvy, twisty mountain road on that bike with running as good as it's ever run.
Yep. I mean, I'm sure from factory it ran a lot better, but in the last however long it had been sitting after it was first bought, it's ran real good since now.
Mm-hmm. First time it's run this well for you.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. Having some fun. Here you go. Here's a nice sweeping curve for you. Lean the bike. It's hard to get used to a different bike, especially one so different than what
yeah, completely different.
Yep. You know, you got a longer wheelbase,
Smaller front wheel.
much smaller front wheel, and when you dive into a corner, the bike wants
this
to.
Is made for this kind of stuff. The Yamaha is just kind of like, I mean, you can do it.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, you've got to get used to how it falls over versus pushing it over.
Yeah,
You know.
you definitely, like, I push it to a point and then it wants to fall into the corner more.
Right, and so you got to go a little wider because it wants to dive on the inside a little sooner than you might have thought.
Yep.
So, but you'll learn it, you'll figure it all out, and next thing you know, you'll be screaming past me and scaring me half to death. So,
It's old bikes like this, though, that need that extra loving care and attention later on in their lives.
oh yeah, and you've had to do that for sure.
Sitting in a garage somewhere rotting away.
Mm-hmm. No,
So if you know people with old vintage bikes and they're not doing anything with said old vintage bike, buy them.
right.
Buy them. Buy them, make them better.
And put them on the road.
Yep.
There you go. Mm-hmm. But as you well know, that can take some work.
Yeah. And I've not even had to do that much compared to some people.
Right.
But still, yeah. I mean, old bikes, it takes work. It takes extra care.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's why. I think if I had gotten a newer bike right off the bat, it kind of would have ruined it for me.
Yeah, because
I would have been a little too used to being too comfortable on it and like spoiled like I was with that little Ninja 300 that I had for a brief bit.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas having the older bikes, I'm more careful with them, but also want to ride more with them because they're older. You don't see them much.
Right.
I mean, you could go to the Dragon and see Ninjas, Gixxers, everything in between all day long.
Mm-hmm.
But you're not going to see most of the other bikes.
Right. And that's part of the allure too, is having a bike that's different. You know, people notice it, people want to talk about it. And that's always, you know, such a fun part of owning a motorcycle. You know, the people just coming up to you and wanting to know, oh my gosh, well, how long have you had it? You know, and et cetera, et cetera. I had one when I was younger, you know.
Yeah, that's the usual one is, oh, I have one of these, whatever, blah, blah, blah.
Yep. So Mitchell and I pulled up to a gas station a little while ago, and somebody was in a 1969 Mercury Cougar. Beautiful, beautiful car. And I wanted to pull up and talk to the guy about that, and he wanted to talk to me about the fact that he had a Goldwing like mine. So it's kind of funny. Anyway, folks, hopefully this video wasn't too long, wasn't too rambling, wasn't too out there. But I'm gonna let it go now. We're on kind of a straightaway, and we're just kind of cruising behind this van. So I hope everyone stay well, stay safe. Most of all, stay happy, y'all. Motor Ramblings and Mitchell out.